Buy or deny Chelsea's 2024 summer transfer targets. Now, there's a few superstar names in this list and we're going to go through them. But at the same time, unfortunately, there are some names that I'm not too happy about. Now, I'm going to start off with the best player here, in my opinion, in terms of potential, ability, and everything else football. But before I go over it, I'm going to give you a hint. He's injury prone and he's got dreads. If you haven't guessed it by now, he's the right wing for Crystal Palace and his name's Michael Olise. Now, we've been linked with Olise for a year, a bit more than that maybe, right? We tried getting him before for 35 million, right? We shat the bed. We could have got him for 35 million, but no, look, regardless of spending £30 more for absolutely no reason, I still think he's a fantastic player and we should buy him. For me, it's a buy. But again, let me state there are worries and concerns. He's a very injury-prone player joining a very injury-prone team. Now, realistically, we could see Olise fighting Reece James for the fucking physio team, right? And that's just, it's not good. But he is a fantastic player, and I think with him on our team, it's a difference maker. Now, some of you might deny this and say, well, where's Madueke and Palmer going to play, right? I'd put Palmer on the cam for the rest of, for the future. And Madueke, I want him to fight for his position because I do rate the lad. But Olise has shown more. And if Olise can't stay fit, then maybe Madueke snatches his chain. But until then, Olise, join the club. Now let's go over to a wonder kid who has already completed the quadruple by himself. Julian Alvarez. What a player! Man, Alvarez hasn't been too fantastic this season, but he's still been amazing. I made a video on him before. Go watch that. But just in case you haven't watched it before, I stated that he scored 20 goals and assists this season in 31 starts. It's pretty impressive, right? 20 GA, right? I think it was 11 goals and 9 assists. Yep, that's the one. It's great. It's great. And I do think in Chelsea, he can raise those numbers starting 37 games. I think he can do that for us because he's not a very injury prone player. He plays a lot of games. He's devoted, and most importantly, mate, he's talented, innit? We need that in our squad. Actually, we don't. We have a very talented squad, but you know what I mean, mate. He's won trophies before at his young age, and he can come over to Chelsea and do so much more. So I love it. And for me, it's a buy, right? Especially considering the alternative player who I'm going to name now. Aston Villa's John Duran. Now, look. On TikTok, I've got a bit of backfire saying that I don't want him. But come on, let's be honest, man. I know he's 20. He's a striker. And off the bench, he's looked impressive, right? But we need a striker, man. We don't need someone in 3 years that's going to be the next Drogba. We need someone now. Like, Nicholas Jackson is better than John Duran. Can I say that with full confidence? Yes, I can. Can John Duran become a very great striker in the future? Possibly. But we need a player for the now, right? And Julian Alvarez is for the now. He's already an established football player. He's better than Nicholas Jackson, right? John Duran is not that. And look, I still do think if we get him, right, for 20 million, maybe 30, it's all right? Why not? But 40 British pounds, absolutely not. Deny. And that is not a false rumour. That is a 100% legit rumour. Apparently, we've offered 40 million. It's done. And now we're just, we're talking to the player, stuff like that. So, honestly, don't be surprised if in the next few days you see John Duran to Chelsea. Here we go. Don't be surprised, but he's all right. He's a cool player. But for me, it's a deny. Now, moving on to the Nigerian superstar from Italy, Osimhen. We've been linked with this guy for 2 years or so, man. And look, he's a good player, but yeah, I don't know why I'm acting all that. Like, yeah, I would take him, honestly, right? He's on a lot of wages, and that's why we're not looking to take him. But I would still do it. Like, you talk about established player, right? That we need, experienced, not that old, literally like 26, 27. Like, he's not old, but he's not young, and that's why the board are a bit wishy-washy, and his wages are high, and apparently we're not doing that. So as it stands, Osimhen is a no-go. He is off our list, but I still thought it'd be worth a mention if it was your decision. What 300 three something like that, man, like 300k a week? Would you give him? Would you give Osimhen that? And of course, the 100 million release clause. Would you do that? Yes, for me, I would do that. Buy, definitely buy. We need that in our squad, but it's not gonna happen. So whatever. Now again, Benjamin Šeško, another player, another wonder kid who actually has an interesting stat this season. I think he's top 5. He has a top 5 goal ratio in the world, or at least in the top 5 leagues. In the top 5, yeah, in the top 5 leagues, he has a 0.8 something ratio, and yes, among the top 5, he's up there with the Harry Kanes and such. So it's impressive, especially for a wonder kid. He's 6'5". Aerially, he can do a lot for us, and he can score a lot of goals. So and most importantly, Arsenal want him, and you know how it is with Chelsea these days, right? If Arsenal want him, so do we. But now, all jokes aside, yeah, I like him. I'd buy him, especially over John Duran. But yeah, recently there's talks that he's not leaving RB Leipzig this season, so that's probably dead as well. But last but not least, right? Dominic Solanke, a player that has come out of Cobham, and he's had a resurgence this season. He's been absolutely fantastic. I like his play. I like his character. But, he's not that young anymore, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm pretty sure he got like 19 goals in the Premier League. Realistically, is that better than an Ivan Toney? Is he better than Ivan Toney? This season for sure. But if you're talking about prime Ivan Toney or Solanke this season, you know what I mean? They're both good, right? Solanke has, I think, more non-penalty goals, so you might give it to him. But, like, honestly, you guys just let me know what you think about all these players and Solanke. But as for Solanke, buy or deny? I think deny. But I wouldn't be mad if we signed him. Like, he's a good player, right? It's that simple. But for me, it's a deny, personally. I think there's better options, i.e. Šeško, Osimhen, and Alvarez. Those are the 3 strikers that would be optimal for me. Now, you guys let me know who you want to sign this summer, especially with the striker, with the number 9. Which number 9 do you want to strike? Which number 9 do you want to sign? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next week.